Welcome class. Today we are going to see a new topic, customer service. As we discussed, logistics contributes to an organization's success by providing customers with timely and accurate product delivery. Now the question is, who is our customer? For logistics, specifically in the context of logistics, who is our customer? I may ask you the question. For logistics, the customer is any delivery destination. The key question answers you, the customer is any delivery destination. The typical destination ranges from consumers' home to retail and wholesale business to receiving the various docks of a firm, manufacturing plants and the warehouses. So in some cases, the customer is different organization or an individual who is taking the ownership of the product or service being delivered. So in many situations, the customer is a different facility of the same firm or any business partner in any other location in their supply chain. So regardless of the motivation and the delivery purpose, the customer being serviced is the focal point and driving force in establishing the logistical performance requirements. So we must know, first of all, understand the customer service deliverables when establishing a logistical strategy. So this specific discussion, I'm going to have it with you based on the nature of the customer service and the development of facilitating strategies. For a person like logistics professionals, a customer is any delivery location. The typical destinations may be different, right? So now it is critical to fully understand the customer needs, customer requirements. So based on the discussion what I had with you, whenever we talk about the term customer, we always associate one important function in business, that is marketing. So whenever customer, we thought of the marketing function is an integrated part of it. So the logical starting point is to understand how the logistic competency contributes to the marketing performance, right? So these are all integrated functions. Marketing is not a separate entity or logistics is a separate entity. You can't say like, yes, I hope I am clear with the point what I am talking with you. The firms guided by market opportunity view satisfying the customer requirements, right? So the objective of any marketing initiative is to penetrate a specific market and of course generate a profitable transactions. So this posture, often referred to as a marketing concept, emerged as a part of our previous history after the post-World War II. So earlier it was seller to buyer dominated markets. Now we are only concentrating on the seller market. So I'm just going to present you three fundamental concepts based on the customer service. That is of our today's discussion. First, the essence of a marketing orientation to business planning. So first we need to relate marketing orientation to business planning. The second, the increased attention to developing logistics as a core competency. So we are treating logistics as not any support function so far. It is one of our logistics competency as a strategic resource. Is very critical to plan any kind of customer service. Then the third component, which we are going to have a discussion on, the changing nature of most of the desired logistics practice in terms of the product life cycle requirement. So, what is the first point related to it? Managing consumer waiting period. That's a primary responsibility of any logistics professionals. Most good customer service benchmarks, if you look into, includes the length of the waiting time. In airlines, in banking, or in health service or shopping, wherever we go, we talk of the length of waiting time. So customers tend to lose their patience, and the service firm has to agonize in choosing the speed over the security. In the world, if you can take the example of a world context, delayed service is perceived as the inefficiency of the firm's services. So the first focus for a logistics man is to concentrate on the waiting time of a customer. Waiting time management is a challenge, can be handled in a very different way. Say take the example of healthcare services where the physicians, the doctors, their clinics have ergonomically designed launches, magazines, and softly played televisions. So where you don't have the feel of waiting for a medical service. Even our hairdressers, they do have magazines and extra chairs, while the airlines are splurging on exclusive lounges. Right? So these are all some of the ways through which you're making your customer waiting time effective. Keep the customer occupied, reading magazine, listening to music, or watching TV. Convey to customer that the service has begun. These are all for online modes. You are receiving a lot of messages from the e-commerce service players. It will make less fidgety. Bankers start the preliminary paperwork process while doctors shift the patients to different examining rooms. Make attempt to reassure the customers as anxiety makes waiting feel longer. Share all the information possible with the customer as this will reduce the anxiety level. And some customers are more equal than others. Discrimination, though we have loyal customers, a new customer, different sets of customers. Discrimination will make customers restive. So encourage customer to interact with others. This will keep them occupied. So these are all some tips normally companies using for making their customer waiting time management strategies. And now I'm taking you to another interesting topic, how to deal with difficult customers. The quality of service transactions surprisingly depends to great extent also on the way how the customer is interacting with the business. Like their education and the background, the life, profession, that skill set, their experience, the business background, social circle. So those people of professionals or people, those who know the basics of doing different services, may be in a better position to understand. Say if they are going for opening a bank account, where if you see waiting time will be there. If a person of having a professional background or at least understanding what the services are there, they may wait for some time. Then the other personality characteristics of traders. So almost all this depend on the provider and the customers, how they are completing the blueprints of the operations, whatever they have promised at the time of transactions. So the difficulty level of handling the customer is also one way of understanding, providing a better customer service. Maybe there are certain companies, they are providing education to their customers. The example could be airline staff pantomime and give verbal instructions on the flight safety procedures before takeoff to the passengers. And similarly, we need to target the chosen segment. Say Citibank took the lead, followed by other foreign banks. And then later, most of the private banks to keep high minimum balance maintaining class for its account holders. So this is just to avoid the vast mass banking crowd who were not only unprofitable, greatly differed in terms of their investment with the bank. Just here I'm providing almost all the service examples. And the next one is customer retention strategies. The service marketer should stress on retaining the customers, as they are very less expensive than the customer acquisition. When you go for acquiring a new customer, a lot of promotions and other effort has to be done from the marketing department. And a retained customer will also be contributing the bottom line through their own positive referrals and repeated purchases over an entire lifetime. So we have different customers. There are different models, which I'm not going into that details of how different types of bonding with the customer. That's purely a marketing context, but still, as we are also part of logistics, also integrated with marketing function. I'll just give you the basics of what are the 4 types of bonds a customer normally keeps with the business transactions, specifically a logistics service provider, a transportation service provider, or a product, whatever he is receiving. Financial bonds through favorable pricing and incentives, social bonds by way of personal and enduring relationships, customization bonds through mass customization or feed forward and anticipation, structural bonds through joint involvement and integrated system. So before we move on to the details of sharing the customer service, I'm just going to present you a simple caselet, which is of a company called X2D. It is a Illinois-based, US-based manufacturer of electrical control products and unit of Paris-based Skinder Electric, where they have a person called Chris Curtis. He is a VP, that is Vice President of Marketing. He enthusiastically promotes the Square-D's marketing approach towards its strategic accounts. Say for this company, Square-D, a Daimler, Chrysler, IBM, they are all high profile and significant They are having a loyal customers, a high profile customers. So the Square D company uses a relationship management process to market its product to the same set of customers. Here, the relationship management process where they are creating one-to-one marketing partnership, and they are provided with exactly the products and the level of service, whatever they want. So they are providing a customized services based on the need of the customers. Okay. Say the company Square D is already having a customer called Dale Krister. So this person who is spending their time with their customer, and the customer, whenever he ordered any product within the proximity, within the reachable distance, the Square D is capable of completing their services. So this proximity to service, this proximity to customer, allow the company Square D sales to become well acquainted with whatever the Daimler Chrysler is their customer, whatever the requirement of the customer, this Square D company is capable of making it. So this company has doing one more head step of this Square D is helping sort out the workload of their customers company, and they sort out the issues, how to reduce the workload and how to, so they are not only offering the customer services, the products, whatever they are asking. In addition, they are providing ready to solve the issues whatever present in the customer's company. He suggested, that is the VP of marketing of Square D, suggested that his team will visit their customer company to oversee the design of electrical control system of each machine to ensure conformity. So the consistency of the design would reduce training time and the overload whatever they are at present following the over workload of the customer's company. After more than 2 years, right? After more than 2 years, now Square D is their lifetime partner. So here, what is this the company is doing? They are not only providing customer service, customer benefits within the proximity, reachable distance, they are taking care of their customers' issues related to their own, because it is an electrical manufacturing product, electrical product. So how even fixing the control system, designing stage onwards, the company is providing them better help. So this is where Square D has acquired a customer benefit. So this example has given you an idea of how effectively a customer service can be utilized to retain a lifetime bond, a lifetime relationship. And now I'm taking you to the next part of our discussion, customer service. Marketing identifies the appropriate logistical performance. The critical strategic issue is to determine the combination of services and their desired format that will support and stimulate the profitable transactions. Say for most of the senior managers, they agree that customer service is important, but they find very difficult to explain exactly what is the meaning of a customer service. So in that case, there are different researchers, they have defined customer service in different way. One of the notable person researcher, Lair London and Zinzer, They've just viewed customer service under three different categories. One is it is an activity. Second one, the customer service needs to be understood in terms of performance level, and this customer service is a philosophy of management. As how do we say quality of a product? It doesn't mean quality of the product alone. Quality is a way of life of organization. Wherever they see, it's not only the way they are producing the product, they have to maintain the quality. No, it is a way of management. Similarly, this customer service could be the philosophy of the management. So viewing the customer service as an activity, that's the first point he has focused. Viewing customer service as an activity suggests that it is capable of being managed. So what is an activity? Thinking of customer service in how best I can provide it. So you have series of actions. Step 1, step 2, step 3 and all, right? So if you consider customer is in terms of performance level, customer service in terms of performance level, thinking of customer in terms of performance level has a relevancy, providing it can be accurately measured. So I can get a feedback from the customer saying that whether the service, whatever I have provided, is up to his satisfaction level. So the third focus, as I have already said, is the philosophy of management, which exemplifies the importance of customer-focused marketing. So all the three components, you understand the customer service as a basic activity, can measure the performance, and the third one, you consider it is a philosophy of management. And there are other ways of defining customer service also. Say, for example, customer service is a process of providing a significant value-added benefit. I'm just introducing you a new term called value-added benefit. So I'm not just going to a shop and getting a product. What is the value addition in it in terms of health benefits, in terms of price benefit, in terms of design benefit, in terms of other promotional benefits? So what is this value added benefits I'm getting it to the supply chain in a very cost effective way? So excellent customer service performance, which is adding value for all the members of the supply chain. So how normally a company, marketing team or logistics team, how are they doing it? They are just planning for a customer service program which needs to incorporate evaluating what is really required by a customer and then how that need is capable of meeting, how your company is capable of meeting the requirements. And the next question is related to that. I'm just providing you, say your customer is ordering a product, you just use your air mode, and within next 10 minutes, 15 minutes, the product is available at the customer site. It's the best customer service what you are offering. But what is the cost involved in doing the service? You've ordered for a specific product, a food product from US. Within an hour, you are getting a product from US through your air mode. The best service I can ever assure. Yes, you are getting the service. But what is the cost? There's a cost associated with achieving the specified service goal. That is also equally important, right? So it is possible to offer the key customers something more than the basics level service for which the company has to spend money. Right? The next discussion is on basic service capability. The three fundamental dimensions, what we identified, I'll just put it in this way: availability, performance, and reliability. See, when you look into lots and lots of numerous research studies in the marketing research which have examined the relative importance of the three service attributes in different business situations. And the next point, availability. Let me just discuss with you what is the real meaning of availability in the context of our logistics, which is providing the better customer service. Availability is the capacity to have an inventory when it is desired by a customer. Whenever a customer is in need of a product, it must be available. You have to provide them with the service. So availability can be achieved in a variety of ways. The most common practice is to stock the inventory in anticipation of customer order. That is one way. The appropriate number, the location, and the stocking policy of the warehouses are one of the basic issues. So now we are touching the logistics part of keeping the inventory. So what are the major factors which are part of our logistics issue while providing a better customer service? I'll repeat the points once again for your understanding. The appropriate number, the location, the stocking policy of warehouses, right? And typically, an inventory stocking plan is based on forecasted requirements and may incorporate differential stocking strategies for specific items. So this will make the company to decide. The company has to maintain based on the anticipated forecast results. The company has to maintain certain specific products in the inventory compared to overall product line, profitability, and the overall value of the merchandise. So this is a way company has to spend money on keeping the inventory infrastructure. Inventory can be classified under different way, but based on our logistics, we have considered inventory under two groups. The base stock determined by forecasted requirements and held to support the basic availability, and the second one is safety stock, which to cover the demand that exceeds the forecasted volumes and to accommodate the unexpected operational variances. So any basic company which is providing a customer service has to maintain two different sets of inventory, a base stock and the safety stock. And in the context of availability, of course, the firms has to follow optimum safety stock policy, because I shouldn't invest much money into it. At the same time, I shouldn't make my customer wait for a long time. So safety stock exists to accommodate the forecast errors and cushion delivery delays during the base stock replenishment. So generally, if you see, the greater the desire to protect against out of stock, the larger the safety stock the company has to maintain. So high safety stock commitment typically means what? You have to maintain a large average inventory. So in high variance situations where whatever you forecasted is one thing, which is not really happened out of for the forecast for the last quarter, 4 months, only 70% of the demand is still there. Remaining 30% is not there. So for you are maintaining a safety stock for which whatever you have anticipated, that 30% safety stock money what you have invested, the place, the location, you're keeping it in a safe place, all these are all going to be a additional cost for the organization. So now what is the point here is, when you're keeping more number of safety stocks, what will happen? Though the demand is not volatile, the amount whatever you have invested in the inventory is going to be the sunk cost. You're keeping it the money idle in that. Okay. So even we should avoid doing it. This will affect the profitability of the organization. So how to manage this? It should be clear that achieving a high levels of consistent inventory availability, it requires a great deal more planning than allocating the inventory to warehouses based on the sales forecast. So sales forecast is a preliminary um, indicator or a metrics, but beyond that, company has to think of what is a consistent inventory availability they have to keep it. So the key is to achieve a high level of inventory availability for selected or any core customer while holding the overall investment in stock, and which will facilitate at the minimum. So you have to keep optimum stock level. So where is a question of linking the logistics operations here? So exacting performance requirements, it requires a total integration of all the logistical resources, and clearly you are communicating your customer that availability commitments will be capable of you meeting the availability commitments of your customers. So therefore, the availability is one such component in considering our customer service, the definition of customer service. So availability is the performance measures, how do you say? Stock out frequency, fill rate, and orders shipped, which is completed. So a company has to meet out all the three commitments with the help of availability, keeping the resources available using a base and the safety inventory. So far I discussed with you the meaning of a customer service, what are the different issues relevant to meeting out the customer service and the customer benefits. Okay. Now I am taking you to the next sort of discussion, start out frequency, a stock out frequency. Okay. This is also the term which is very much relevant to our customer service. It is a probability. What is the meaning of a stock out frequency? It is a probability of, it is kind of a probability that a stock out will occur. Maybe this measure indicates if a product is available to ship to customer. When there, just imagine there is a situation, demand exceeds the product availability. So what will happen? Your availability of product is less than what is the demand at present happening in the outside world. So that is exactly the stock out. The stock is out of stock, right? Okay. So the stock out frequency, how a company has to maintain, how to avoid this kind of issues when the company is providing a better customer service. The aggregation of all the stockouts across all the product is an indication that the company has to position its inventory in a proper way. This measure will affect specifically in terms of critical times. Most of us, we all experienced the time of COVID, like how the basic necessary food products which were made available for us with the help of this kind of stock out. They never make us waiting for any product for long time. So this critical times, really the entire industry has made this stock out issues. They've managed the stock out issues in a very specific strategic way, which will make the entire customer services in a benefitable way, right? Okay. Now the next discussion which I thought of making you clear with this customer benefit is fill rate. What is a fill rate? Fill rate is say Just because a product is out of stock doesn't necessarily mean that the customer requirement is going to be unsatisfied. There are occasions where you cannot make the promises to deliver whatever the promises you've made, but you cannot make it sometimes. So before a stock out affects a real service performance, it is necessary to confront a customer requirement. So it becomes important to identify whether the product is not available and determine how many units the customer wanted. So fill rate performance is typically specified in customer service objectives. By measuring the magnitude of stockouts, a firm has to track the record in meeting the customer requirements can be. Say, for example, out of 50 units ordered by the customers, 47 units were already available. Then just find out what is the fill rate. How much they have ordered? 50. How much is available? 47. So what is the percentage? 47 divided by 50 in terms of 100. So the fill rate percentage is 94. The companies, we try to make it 100%, but there are occasions where even if you are capable of meeting the customer fill rate requirement beyond 90 to 95% or 95 to 100%, then it is fine. So to effectively measure the fill rate, the typical procedure is to evaluate the performance over a specified time. So fill rate can also be used to differentiate the level of service to be offered on a specific product. Say, for example, in the earlier example, what I have suggested, if all the 50 products were critical, it's very difficult to get it. An order fill rate, at least the company is capable of managing 94%, could result in a stock out in customer operation, which will create a customer dissatisfaction clearly. However, if most of the 50 products were relatively slow movers in the sense it may take a month time or it may take a week, more than a month time to completely the stock is moving out from the store. If the product is supposed to be a slow moving product wherein the fill rate is 94%, then it is fine. So this fill rate is providing an additional information to the company. It is not only a satisfying 100% customer services. In addition, whether it is a slow moving product or obsolete product, what is that percentage you are capable of meeting the fill rate. So your firm has to identify products that are critical and should have a higher fill rate on the basis of the customer requirements. Okay. The last point under our discussion, orders shipped complete. Order shipped complete are a measure of times that firm has the entire inventory ordered by a customer. It is a strictest measure. It will view the full availability of the standard of acceptable performance. So we started generally, this order shipped complete establish whether the customer is receiving a perfect order providing all other aspects of performance with zero defects. So the three availability measures, whatever we have seen, availability, then the person performance level and philosophy of management. In addition, the fill rate, the orders shipped complete, all these are all making a firm to evaluate are they really providing appropriate basic logistics strategies to make or to provide better service to their customers. Okay, so I'll just give you the basics of what we discussed in the class. So how do we define the customer services in terms of the four important concepts or components? The one is availability of product, the stock out frequency. Then we discussed about the fill rate. And the fourth component is about orders shipped complete. I hope this discussion will give you a clear understanding idea of how a customer service has to be defined in the context of our logistics. Thank you.